Welcome to the Lindsay and Tony podcast, where we talk about spirituality, business, and life experiences.
In this podcast, we're bringing our private conversations to you.
We believe that it's through discussion, action, and reflection that true change occurs. Hello and welcome to episode 178. Are you creating success to avoid your inner trauma? Before I get into this episode, I want to remind you, if you are someone that's been wanting to join my Unlock Your Inner Mediumship Mentor program, I want to give you an update. Whether you're brand new to mediumship, you have absolutely no experience, there's a beginner's course, level 1, that's self-study, that's always active. You can join, or you can join us in fall when we do our VIP, where I can help guide you in group mentoring. Also, I have level 2 and 3. If you've had even 20 years plus experience, we go deeper and really get more information, not only with evidence, but the presence of spirit. So let's get into this episode. So in this episode, we really talk about that rush you get from helping someone and creating successful events or classes or whatever it may be. And it gets addicting. But also, there's more to it. There's also the sense of trauma that you have living inside of you as a psychic medium and healer that may pop up at different points. And it's all about becoming aware of it so you're not rushing through your life trying to get to the next thing. We share personal stories and we hope you enjoy this episode. Hi guys, welcome back. We are talking all about successes and traumas and what you're doing with success because of your traumas. So psychic mediums and healers, listen up, because this could be you. And Romeo is joining us today. I don't know how long he's going to be sitting on one of our laps, but he will be here today. He's a little dog healer, so feel the doggy vibes.
Yeah, so think about it. Are you somebody to where, is it challenging for you to slow down? Meaning, is it challenging for you to sit in a room with your own emotions, feeling your emotions? Is it challenging for you to receive guidance and help from other people? Are you used to just going out and helping everybody all the time? If you answer yes to some of these questions, then it may be the case to where you're creating success. You're looking for that next success, that next big project, and you're going to get that dopamine rush because you just put those traumas that you're feeling, like you secretly know that they're in there, but you're just going to deal with them another day.
Yeah. And this is one of the things that I've noticed too, and Tony and I are going to have this conversation about psychic mediums, is it feels like the psychic mediums that I've met, whether it's through, my peers or I've mentored and that we've worked with, they've had something big come up in their life. Mm-hmm. At least they're sharing it with us, over the years, these psychic mediums. So they've had something come up in their life that either catapulted them into the psychic mediumship and healing, or they've went through it at some point. So and that's why I feel like they're great healers, because they've had the experiences. Do you always have to have a trauma? No. But that's something that's come up that I've noticed personally.
Exactly, yeah. They went through some kind of deep
awakening
pain, deep awakening, and they might have felt insecure most of their life. They might have felt sad, they might have felt depressed at times, or some other kind of traumas, and it's you're exactly right. That's why they are great healers. Yeah. And it's a double-edged sword. Great healers, the common pattern is, and it came within us too, is on the other flip side of it, it's hard to receive healing ourselves from other people at times. Right? It's uncomfortable, it's vulnerable. It's like switching roles, going from being the helper and the healer to receive. And that's why sometimes healers burn out so quickly too. The psychic mediums and healers burn out, we've noticed, is because they go, and there's an imbalance. So they're not receiving, or they're chasing that next high, like you said, they're getting the awards, they're, doing the events or publishing the book, but in the process of all of it, they're not actually processing how they're feeling. So they're thinking they're getting that next thing, which is great to strive for these dreams and goals. We all do it as humans.
but like, what is that part of the journey doing for them, and after they get it, how are they feeling? Are they feeling satisfied, or is there still an emptiness that they were looking, that they thought that it would come from the award or the book or whatever it is that's coming out?
Exactly. So you listen and you watching right now, the question to ask is, what you're doing in your business or even your career, is it sustainable?
Yeah.
Is it sustainable?
That's a question we always ask our students.
Of course, there's times to where, like in your business, you're going to be in launch mode, or you're doing this, and you're not going to do that all the time. We're not talking about that. We're talking about if you look over a year span, look over the last 12 months of your life and what you're doing. Are you burning out? Are you like having these high, and then you're coming down low all the time, and you're high? Like that leads to health problems. That's not sustainable. And you're not going to be as powerful of a healer as you could be if you take the time to slow down, figure out what's going on with your own energy, allow and receive from either your coach or your friend or whoever you're growing with. It doesn't matter who it is. Receive that from the other person. Receive it from spirit, right? Receive it from the universe. Like, open up your heart, right? I'm telling myself this too. Open up my heart so I can receive. So then I could give more, because my natural instinct is to go give.
Yeah, that's a very common theme, is I want to give, even if it is to help, not just to get that high, that comes up with helping naturally. If you're a giver and your heart's open and you're trying to give, then it feels good for that moment. But when you need something, sometimes the big thing is either you burn out first before you even take the time to receive, or you feel resentful of other people because you're giving so much and you're not receiving back. So this is a common theme that can come up. But when it comes to trauma, I'm going to let him jump down. When it comes to trauma, whether it's like the childhood trauma or something drastic in your life, like it could be a loss of some sort, whether it's a divorce or it's a loss of a loved one that's passed, or whatever it may be, abuse. It's so easy to kind of bury it down and stay busy and stay on this spinning wheel and keep going if you don't take time to process that. And that's where building out that time, that solo time for ourselves, is so important. And there's moments where I could catch myself and I'm aware, like, okay, I have that feeling inside of me. All right, I'm staying busy, but why? Why am I staying busy right now? So of course it's going to happen to us, but it's that awareness of coming back to recognize it. That's a big thing. It's not to shame anyone to say, you're not facing your trauma and you need to do all this work. It's not that. It's becoming aware of, like, am I giving to other people, but I'm putting myself on the back burner and I'm burning out and I have no energy and I'm depleted. It's not going to help your clients at all. That's
exactly. This is all about you becoming a better medium, a better healer, a better coach, better friend, mom, husband, whatever you are. And that's what it's about, right? The more that you work on this, like not feeling bad about it, not feeling like, oh, I waited 40 years to do this or 30 years. Like, it doesn't matter. Like you're here listening to a podcast, you're doing the work. Because we found, like in our experience, right, Lindsay, we've seen over the years, over several years, we've seen mediums that are making lots of money, right? Lots of money, whatever that is to them, $100,000 a year, whatever, $200,000 a year, 50, whatever means. They're making a living. They're making a full-time living off of this, and they're happy. They're living a great lifestyle. We saw other mediums to where they're making $100K a year, and they're burnt out. They're burning out all the time. They might be even making $1 million a year. They're burning out, right? Like, what's the point? Like, we are in a different career, right? We're not unloading trucks like I used to do at Cisco Food Warehouse, right? It's different. You have to take care of your mind and your energy in this career. Yeah, that's true with every career, but this even more so. You're using your mind to help heal people. If you're a psychic medium, a healer, or a coach, you're using your mind to help heal people. Like, you have to take care of your body, your energy, all of what you are in a different way. And that's why we always bring this up over and over and over, because Lindsay, we realize the more that we do this in our life, the more balanced out and better our business gets. And we realize the same thing with our clients.
And this is huge. The biggest thing that I recognize with it too is, it's so easy to say, well, I already did the work. A lot of people will be like, well, I already did that. I meditated on it. I went through it.
Did that for 20 years already.
So that's not, like, I'm trying to make you aware that if that's something that you've said, like, I've done it, it's not like you're overworking to solve the trauma. Like, you've done all those things. It's about being honest and truthful with yourself and saying, this existed and it's still in me and it could creep back up. Exactly. And that's okay. There might not be a lot of work to do on it. Like, I'm saying, everyone says, like, I did the work.
You're like, what?
It's not about the work. It's more about the awareness and the honesty and the truth of acknowledging the fact that, yes, I still have some stuff in me that comes up around this topic because of the past. Like, it's still there. I catch it. I'm aware of it. Doesn't mean you need to go and sit necessarily with a therapist for, 5 hours a day. That might not be the thing for you. But I do believe in honesty and truth. And I feel like truth and honesty could take 2 seconds to clear something in that moment. But it doesn't mean that it's always going to go away. Like, I always think, I give this example because this is a huge trauma. One of the traumas in my life was when Nick passed. You think one person is going to be here, and then all of a sudden, no plans, and they're just ripped from the earth, and it's gone. You've experienced with that process with Nick. You've experienced it with other family members and friends for you. When it's not planned, and even if it is planned, where someone's going to pass away, it's still traumatic. That's a huge thing.
It definitely is. It definitely is a huge thing. And then going back out to what you also said, it is the self-awareness. It's like right now, tune into your energy, tune into your emotions, tune into your body. Yeah. What is going on in there? If you're a human, you have problems.
And I love
if
what
you're
Tony
a human,
Robbins
you have problems.
says about that.
If you have relationships, you have problems.
And Tony Robbins always says, if you have problems, it means you're alive.
Exactly. So it's like to say that, like what you said, I did the work, so I'm done. Oh, it's not like school. Oh, I graduated. I got my degree. Here it is. Inner work's not like that. We never arrive to the mountaintop because there is none.
Yeah, it's constantly happening.
You keep on going. And if you're a human, following a big mission, holy shit, watch out. All of your vulnerabilities, all of your insecurities, everything's going to start coming to the surface. And if you think that you already did the work, you're not going to see it.
Yeah.
But if you wrap your mind around it and you bring that self-awareness, like you said, it's not like you got to go and do and, go talk to a therapist. Sometimes maybe you do.
Yeah.
But it's that awareness around it. When you bring awareness, energy to that, it's like bringing light to dark. It heals it. It makes it go away eventually. It dissipates little by little over time. It may never go away your entire life.
Yeah.
But it's going to get quieter and quieter and quieter. But if you don't, it'll unconsciously get louder and louder and louder because you're saying, I already did the work.
Well, it will show up in little pieces of people around you if you're not facing it. It's going to keep showing up in different ways. And sometimes the work, putting in quotes, the work, is having fun. I might catch myself where I'm like, okay, I'm so focused on something, but wait a second, like I need to go and jump on a trampoline. Like that's something that I love to do. Like we love being around the kids. Like that lightens the mood, Or for me, I always feel that moment of feeling drawn back to painting, and I'll know that, oh, I got to paint again. My creativity and that side of me is coming back out. It's detaching from the computer. It's detaching from social media and coming back to myself. So the work might not be, let me go and focus on my trauma, but it might be taking that time to be present and to be silent without the noise of everything else around us. There's a lot going on in the world. There's a lot going around with each of us too, all of the time. So it's like, okay, let me take time to be by myself. It's very easy for people to be very concerned with not being alone and not having that silent time. There's more problems with that, I feel like, than anything, is people being very uncomfortable with silence. They might call it, I'm bored, or they might say, like, I don't have anyone around to do something with, I gotta go and call someone. It's very easy to get on the phone. For me personally, I do get on the phone a lot. But there's moments where I catch myself like, okay, I'm going to take a moment and feel this feeling, and just be.
And that's it. And it's not I'm bored, it's I'm scared to feel my emotions. That's what it is every time, right? Sometimes you might feel bored, but it's being in that room and feeling your emotions. It could be scary. It's like, whoa, where did these all come from? And are we saying creating success is bad? No.
Yeah.
Go ahead and create success, because the thing is, the people we're talking about, the people listening to this show, they're all high achievers. You're going to be successful no matter what you do if you stick with it. Like, you're going to create the success. But if you avoid your inner traumas, you're going to find yourself happily successful with all this outside success, and you're still feeling very empty on the inside.
Mm-hmm. And some people won't catch it until 10 years later, until you're so far in that you're in a routine now, and you're feeling that feeling of, oh my gosh, what have I been doing? And I look back at my life, and all of a sudden I see all the things that I accomplished, but did it give me those deep connections? Did it make me feel closer in my relationships? Or did it just, make me feel like I'm stepping back? Like I need to start doing that and developing those.
Exactly. So, and you go.
I was going to say, like, success is different for everyone too. I think that's a question that you need to ask yourself if you're sitting listening to this podcast is, what is success for me personally? So success to some people might be winning an award, having a certain amount of things come up each year that you're recognized for, or finishing the book. What else is there? There's so many different things that can come up. It's getting the certificate of completion.
Making a certain amount of money per year so you can take care of your family and live the lifestyle you want to.
That might be success for you right now. For me and Tony, actually, we reevaluated, like, what is success for us? For me personally, success is about freedom. It's about giving to other people. It's about having an abundance of wealth in all different ways. Wealth and happiness, wealth and peace, wealth in my bank account, wealth and direction and purpose. So for me, success is more about, like, how do I feel inside and how it shows up outside and how it mirrors. I'd rather have that peace in my body than feel like I'm catching the next thing and not having that. Like, I'd like both, but really it's about having that fulfillment and feeling like I have quality relationships and honest communication. That's been a huge thing. It's like communication and truth is a big thing. I know I'm successful when I feel like I can do that in all my relationships.
Yeah, and I love that. And you're living that.
Yes.
And that's why you have the peace and joy. Because the thing is, if you don't define, I love how you asked them, what does success mean to you? Because if you don't define that, society already defined it for you. Because in the United States, work addiction is praised. It's the only addiction that's praised. Society here, it's like, oh, if we have the car, the house, the picket fence, and we have a great business and we're the CEO, we're successful. Well, if you're following something that is not true to you, and then all of a sudden you find yourself there, you're going to be like, whoa, why am I so miserable, but I'm successful? Take time to define that. Bronnie Ware was a palliative nurse, and she took care of thousands and thousands of patients at the end of their life. And there were 5 regrets that came up. She asked them their top regrets of their life. 5 came up over and over. One of them was, I wish I hadn't worked so hard, which also says to me, I wish I played more.
Yes.
So is that balanced out for you? Because Lindsay can't tell you how to do that. I can't, because we're all different. That's why you have to define your own success. You got to figure out, like, what it feels like to you, what it looks like to you. And this is an ongoing thing. It's not like in this moment you're going to know exactly. It's like, I feel like my vision is constantly being altered and shifted. The core of it is pretty similar, but it's like being open to that, but continuously creating that. So I'm not defined by something else. So I'm not like trying to create success that's defined by
the society norms.
Society or your parents or somebody else, because you're going to be miserable. That's why in our business masterminds, we don't just say, hey, here's 7 steps to have a successful business.
Right.
Well, what the hell is a successful business for this person? We got to figure that out first.
It's totally different.
We got to figure it out for each person.
Yeah, it's so true. And this is the thing, when it comes back to focusing in on what you want, it is taking time to get that clarity. It's not like, you're listening to this episode right now, but instead of just listening passively, get active. That's a big thing that we suggest too with listening to these episodes, is take a piece of paper out and reflect on it. What is success to me? in this energy that's created right now, take that time to just jot down notes. It doesn't need to be perfect. And like you said, Tony, things change over time. You also mentioned launch mode. There are times where I'm creating a course, and yes, I will stick with that course and block off my time for my clients and focus in on making the videos, writing the content. And that might be a little bit more work than when I'm doing my daily activities and my weekly activities of readings, you know? And you have to kind of alter it when you feel that feeling. Like, trust that feeling when you need to alter things. It really is about the true awareness of what feels right for me in this moment. What am I avoiding? Why am I not taking the time to really process what I'm feeling? You know, and what is the next big thing? Like what is that going to do for me to get that next thing? You know, so it's something to think about.
Yes, definitely. Definitely self-awareness, applying what we're talking about here, figuring out, like, as I listen to this podcast, as I watch it, what's running over my mind right now? That's the most important. Like, what's your one insight from this entire show that you're like, yes, that's it? Take action on that right now. Like, forget everything else and take action on that right now. And then you could come back and watch the episode again and then do that same process again.
Yeah, this is something that you're always going to have pop up in your life, and it's not just a one time a year thing. And I think that's the big thing when it comes to New Year's. People think that they need to set their goals once a year for, you know, New Year's or January 1st, and they want to write down all the things that they want to achieve. But how do you want to feel? That's the question, is how do you want to feel, and how is that going to carry out, and what are the steps that you're going to make happen to make that inner peace come out in that success? Because success and trauma, you know, the activity for success with trauma could be overworking. That is a possibility.
Yeah, definitely. And if this is your first year in business, or even second, or you're relatively new to it, give yourself time for all this. This all takes time to create and to figure out what works for you, what doesn't work for you. If you're 20 years in the business, open your mind up.
Yeah.
Open your mind up and realize that you don't know everything. We don't know everything. See what runs through your mind and figure out, like, is there something I can change in my business that will help? Right? It's like, always keep that open mind, because we're always growing. We're always transforming. Humans have infinite potential. It's proven over and over and over again. So if you're good just where you're at, all right, good. It's your life. You could go do that. But if you realize we have infinite potential, and that part of us being happy, like fulfilled, is making progress, like that's literally part of it, making progress in each area, you'll realize that I'm always going to have self-awareness, because I need to make progress little by little. It doesn't have to be a whole lot to have that fulfillment, right? You're either growing or you're dying.
Mm-hmm. Totally. And the progress might not be the next achievement. The progress might be the peace inside of your heart. And that's the biggest thing, to recognize that. We hope you enjoyed this episode as much as we did. If you liked it, leave a 5-star review on iTunes, and remember, subscribe to our YouTube channel too.
If you can think of anyone else that would love this episode, share it with them right now on social media or email. And remember, getting results is a process of learning, applying, and reflecting. Stay consistent and continue to grow every day.